If you are a parent with young children, or if you are a new parent and you've been having a hard time getting in those good gaming sessions, keep watching, because I'm going to give you a few tips that'll help you make sure that your skills don't get rusty and you'll be able to actually, complete some video games. Alright, before we get started on this list, there's a few things I am going to make absolutely clear. First off, you probably won't get 12-hour gaming sessions anymore unless you're a pro gamer or a streamer or something like that. You just gotta get over it. That's what's about to happen, but you know what? I'm gonna help you still get in some quality gaming time, so just keep on watching. These tips will require compromise from yourself and from your family, but anyone will tell you that the most successful relationships involve compromise. So be willing to talk to your family, be willing to talk to your partner, and also be willing to just, work with them as well. Because if you're like me, you need your gaming time in order to basically unwind from the day or something along those lines. Now, the last thing before we get started, I'm not going to lie, these tips won't work for absolutely everyone. Some assumptions are at play here. For example, I have 3 kids, 2 of which are preschool and toddler age, and then I also have not a newborn anymore, they're now officially a baby, they're an infant. And I live near Metropolitan City. I live about an hour north of Seattle and Bellevue, Washington, which is, a gaming center, and a lot of these tips come from that mindset. So if anything I said didn't work from you, but you have some tips that will work if you live in a more suburban or a more rural area, leave them in the comments, please, because I want to learn from you guys as well. So the first 4 tips are in no particular order, but number 1 is always going to be number 1 no matter what. And when we get there, you'll see why. So let's start off with number 5. Probably one of the easiest ways to get in some game time, depending on what game you're playing. Getting a scheduled hour or 2 hours can definitely get a lot more done than you think. Whether you're grinding out materials or you're grinding victory royales, having that hard set gaming time can help ensure that your skills won't get rusty, and you'll also get to be an active participant in your favorite lifestyle hobby. This also allows you to work on your communication skills within your relationship, and I don't care how good your relationship is, you can always work on your communication skills. If you have kids, especially if you have younger kids, early mornings and late nights might be the only time that you get any peace and quiet. You might as well get a side quest done in God of War or get a few games in of PUBG or Fortnite. And if you're like me, a great way to start the morning is just to get in a couple wins and a couple frags. Cup of coffee, get a couple kills in Fortnite, and then you're just in a great mood for the rest of the day. So one of the biggest deterrents of gaming post-children is the fact that it makes it hard to play a game to completion. Once we hit adulthood, most of us have a hard time keeping up with all the amazing games coming out as is. Add in a couple future raiders into the mix and good luck trying to even beat an RPG ever again. I've been eyeing Divinity Original Sin 2 forever, but I know I don't have the time to fully invest into that game unless I play it as a part-time job. So a discovery that I had that helped alleviate this problem was the discovery of indie games. I was never really into the indie game scene until I got my Nintendo Switch, and I haven't looked back since. The thing I love about independent games is the fact that A, I'm supporting an independent developer, which is awesome, and B, a lot of them make games that are a lot easier to just kind of pick up and play, or they're shorter, so that way I can beat the game to completion or get a significant amount done within a single setting. Like Oxenfree, I beat that entire game within one sitting, and it would be really easy for me to go back and play through it again in another full setting with the multiple endings as well. And speaking of which, if you haven't played that game, it is a trip and it is awesome. But yeah, if you're tired of spending money on games that you will never beat, then go ahead and start taking a look at indies, because I think that you will find a lot of stuff that is not only innovative and interesting, but something that you will actually finish as well. So, believe it or not, mobile and handheld gaming aren't just for casuals anymore. With the success of the Nintendo Switch, it's become even more apparent that the ability to game on the go is important now and will be important going forward. That being said, and personally speaking, portable gaming has been my main method of gaming since my kids have been born. I've owned 3 3DSs, 2 of the original DSs in my lifetime, and aside from my streaming games on my PC, I'm playing Monster Hunter right now on my 3DS to prep for the Switch version, where I will be able to hunt literally everywhere. I'm so hyped. But anyways, I know I just said a thing about shorter games, but Monster Hunter is an exception, and that's my personal version of crack, so I'm allowed to be a hypocrite when it comes to Monster Hunter. But anyways, I digress about how great Monster Hunter on the Switch is going to be. Now, I know that we all love to kind of hate on Candy Crush and those types of games for their addictive nature and their loot box and gambling methods, but we're at a point now where we can't really say much about mobile games anymore and their predatory nature. So that being said, if you want premium mobile experiences, you're going to have to shell out for premium mobile games. iOS gets all the best mobile games. As an Android user, I'm completely jealous because they get stuff like The World Ends With You, which is absolutely insane. But my main point is that on Android and iOS, you can find ports of full games, and we're talking stuff that range from like classics to modern games as well. So to completely write off mobile gaming is completely foolish, because there's a pretty good chance that there's a game on your phone that absolutely has its claws on you. Now, before we go to the number one tip, I'm just going to give you kind of a little bonus one. And the reason this is a bonus tip is just because of the fact it's very specific to certain people. This tip is game during your commute. Obviously, it only works for people that commute to and from work. But for example, when I was working in downtown Seattle, I had a bus commute that ranged between about an hour and a half to around 2.5 hours, depending on traffic. It gets that bad in Seattle sometimes. Aside from taking constant naps, gaming was my savior. I was making the commute right at the launch of the Switch, and I'm not going to lie, I felt like the man. Being able to play a game like Zelda while sitting on the bus and stuck in traffic felt as revolutionary as it turned out to be. And a little quick side tip, Disgaea 5 is an absolutely great pick up and play tactical RPG. This game has a great mix of quick battles that can be fought during a bathroom break to longer, more drawn out tactical fights that take more luck and more number crunching. All right, here it is, time for the number one tip, and I believe it is the most important one. And if you practice this, if you do this, I promise not only will you get gaming time, but you will help create the next generation of gaming families. So that tip, get your freaking family involved. No matter what, this is always going to be the number one tip. This should be obvious. If you're watching this video, you're passionate about gaming. You love it and you treat it like a lifestyle. Take the time to show your family why you love gaming, and they just might become gamers themselves. This might require you to make a compromise in regards to what games you're playing, but you know what? It's one that's worth it if you're going to game with your family. The great and amazing thing about gaming is that there are so many choices available to you and your family. Are you a co-op family? Check out something like Castle Crashers. Are you a competitive family? Check out something like Mario Tennis coming out. And if you want something that's a little bit of mix in between, maybe try Rocket League. Either way, so long as you and your family are patient, it's more than possible to find that gateway game that will show them why you turned your gaming hobby into a gaming passion. And always remember, guys, always remember, the family that slays together stays together. Thank you. All right, so thank you for making it this far. Thank you very much for watching. I tried to make sure that my tips are useful to pretty much all parents of all types. Like I said in the beginning, leave a comment down below if you have any tips that I didn't mention that ended up working out beautifully for you. One that I didn't mention was baby wearing. Baby wearing mixed in with handheld gaming is an absolute game changer. I highly advocate it. If you like what you saw, hit like, hit subscribe. I want to make more stuff for more of you guys, so share this with all your friends, share it with your mom friends, your dad friends, aunts, uncles, grandpas, whomever. Just spread the word. And as usual, you can find me on all the usual social media stuff: Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, obviously here on YouTube. Feel free to drop a line. Feel free to tell me, any feedback you have. Let me know what you think of my stuff. I want to make stuff that resonates with more of you guys so I can start reaching out to more of you. So yeah, let's have a discussion down below. Let's talk about parenthood, let's talk about gaming, and let's talk about ways that we can make it all work together. So thank you, and I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.